What is up, everybody? Uncle Buck here. It is the post-game bounce here on Bluff City Media, recapping the Grizzlies 125-115 home loss to the Denver Nuggets. I'm happy to be joined by Evan Hayes. Evan, what's up?
What's up, my boy Drew? How are you doing? Unfortunately, we just got a loss, but how are you doing, my guy?
I'm good. I wish we were meeting for and hosting a show together for the first time under better circumstances. But I guess life just is, you got to play the hand you're dealt every once in a while. But I'm glad to be doing it with you.
Yeah, man, it's the first time for everything. You know, two people that haven't crossed paths in this space, but bringing people another flavor to the Bluff City Media Network.
Yeah, and any show I can do without Rusty is a perk. So I get Rusty 5 times a week. I'm glad to get you tonight. So.
You get a break. You get a break for maybe like 12 hours or maybe like 10. Something like that.
That's it. So give everybody just a minute to hop in the comments. First off, we're on Bluff City Media's YouTube page right now. You can also watch us on their Twitter.com page, on Kenny's page, wherever else you're watching. I would like to cordially invite everybody here in the first couple minutes of the show to come on over to YouTube. That's where all the cool kids are at. The comments are blowing up. 90% of the comments come from YouTube. So if you just want to listen to me and Evan, feel free. Just hang out wherever you're at. If you want to hang out with all the cool kids in the comments, come to YouTube, because that's where the most of the fun's at anyways. So
Thanks.
Comments are already blowing up. Listen, the Grizzlies have their 2-game winning streak halted in a game that they were 6.5 point underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
They do not cover. The game was more or less entertaining the whole time. It was never really out of doubt. They fought back from some deficits. It seems like it would go from 12 to 7 and then to 15, then to get it back to 6 or 7, and then they go back out to 17, and just back and forth the whole time. Never can quite get it underneath 6, and I guess a lot of that credit goes to a seasoned veteran NBA champion team. That's kind of what they do, is they just don't let you get all the way back in it. And it was just another night in which the Grizzlies struggled to shoot. Offensive basketball seems to be the kryptonite of the Memphis Grizzlies. So off the top rope, what'd you think?
Yeah, it happens when the opposing team is shooting 51% from the field and 51% from 3. Denver was completely unconscious from 3. So those games you have to tip your hat to the opposite team. We just couldn't go shot for shot. Of course, you have guys at the lineup like Jerome and Moran and Edey who went out early with a head injury. So I like the fight of the guys. We kept playing. We kept executing. It's just we have so many guys out. And like you said, we were playing such a championship pedigree team with arguably the best player in the world on it. It's just, I mind that we didn't have our biggest guns tonight, and they had theirs. And in the shootout, we're not gonna win that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you look at this and you try to look at it in realistic expectations. I thought the Grizzlies would fight tonight. I thought you got a fight tonight. And Edey going out after playing, I think, 5 minutes of game time, went out with a head injury. They pretty quickly called him doubtful. I don't know if we were speculating in a group chat, maybe a migraine, because you didn't really see a blow to the head or him hit the ground at all. So don't know, but you had to play the game without Edey. You put Jock back in the starting role there. And listen, any NBA team missing their first and third best player, I think it's safe to call Edey their third best player right now.
Yeah, for sure.
If not their second. We'll get to that later. But they're just going to struggle. They're going to struggle. And I don't know what your stance is with Jaren. We're going to get to it in a minute, because there may be, I may be ready. The winds may be changing on this side of the screen anyways.
I have a feeling this is going to be a very infamous post-game bounce, because the comments are saying, I'm looking at the comments right now. I know you have talking about, I know Twitter is talking about it. But yeah, I tweeted, I believe if Edey plays this game, I feel like we win this ball game. I just feel like his physical presence on the floor, of course, you can't shut down Jokic, but having another 7-foot-plus guy that can physically impose his will on a guy like Jokic, like, give out a shout out to Jock Landale. Career high,
he was good.
26 and 10, he did the best he could. And he had probably the game of his life against the best player in the league. But I still believe you have Edey in there, we win. But being that Jaren Jr. was in the lineup, and I'm looking at the stats, he was a negative 27 plus minus, Drew. Negative 27.
How many minutes did he play? 25?
29 minutes. 29 minutes.
So he was a minus 27 in 29 minutes in a game that we lost by 10. That's pretty putrid. And in our group chat, I've got a group chat with the two Bucks guys, Wayno and Luke, a couple guys, and I made a note. I said when Jaren went out of the game, I believe it was about the 6-minute mark. The Grizzlies were down 17. They then went on a 14-2 run and cut it to about a 6-point lead. And then Jared Davidson of Bluff City Media's own Jared Davidson said, "Please don't put Jaren back in." And I think that's where we're at. And I don't know the solution. I'm not going to go as far as say the solution is trading Jaren. That's for the Grizzly Spaces people to freak out on, and I'm sure we're going to have our best friend in the comments spamming us here in a minute about Jaren being the root cause. I still don't know that you trade him. I don't think that's the best answer, but he's been a negative.
My thing is with a lineup of Cam, I wrote it down. Cam Spencer, KCP, Santi, and Jalen Wells brought you back when your $100+ million defensive player of the year, fringe third team All-NBA guy is on the bench, and he is not a net positive on the floor. I can't get behind that, Drew. In a game where you needed him against a team with an opposing big man like Nikola Jokic, one of my things I know other people talk about is when big dogs come to town, our stars, especially Jaren Jackson Jr., doesn't show up the way he needs to on a consistent basis. The best player in the league is coming to town in your house, and you don't show up to play. It's hard to wrap your head around it. It's hard.
It truly is. And I don't know what to do. And this is not really a Jaren specific thing because I've often lamented what Ja's game looks like on nationally televised games. If you just pull like any game that you play on TNT or used to be TNT, ESPN, Prime was the Lakers. The only Prime game or the first Prime game of the year was that Lakers game where Ja took off the second half, took some PTO. Just naturally televised games, which are typically good on good. You know, that's what you want to showcase. Our guys don't show up. And tonight, when Edey goes out in the first half, Jaren, if you look at the stat line, it doesn't look that bad. If you just take out the plus minus, you know, he had, I think, 18, 20 points. He shot roughly 50% of the field, made a couple threes. You can look at that, and anybody who turned the game off or slept through it or Wayno, who's working right now, and if you were just to catch the highlights, look at the box score, and didn't look at the plus minus, you'd say, "Oh, Jaren pulled his own." The problem is you watch the game, and it was not pretty. Your big guy, Zach Edey, who I guess it's just time to admit it now, whether you like to or not, the heart and soul of this team is Zach Edey, and he goes out after 5 minutes, and your Jock Landale's the one that steps up.
You can't have that. And Jaren's supposed to be the leader or one of the leaders on this team. For the people in the comments, his final stat line was 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 for 16 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3. 0 blocks, 0 steals, 3 turnovers, and 4 fouls on the night. Yeah, he had 4 fouls going into the fourth quarter because he had a really bad reach in the backcourt on Jokic.
Yeah. So that's the one that turned the winds on me. The flag started blowing the other way for me on that jump ball 85 feet away from the basket foul on Jokic that then just gave him the ball. We're able to take it out half court out of bounds and then just let him walk into a half court shot, which he's the only person, him and Steph Curry, the only ones that you have to guard that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to put a hand up.
Yeah, I'm not comparing because, of course, 2 different eras, 2 different generations. But that shot reminded me of the shot that Steph hit on us in the playoffs at halftime. Remember when it just killed the whole momentum of? I think it was going to halftime. This is going to the full court. That was going to halftime. We hit that half court shot, and it just killed the whole momentum of the game. Yes, we did show fight in that fourth, and I commend the guys that were in the game and Coach Eastlow for still coaching. But when your star player makes such a direct negative play that leads to something like that, I knew eventually the wheel was going to fall off, you know, and I don't agree with King Grizzly _3 entirely, but his IQ it doesn't show up at times. It doesn't show up enough when you need it to for an 8-year vet.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Like he's talented, but you can't say that the IQ is super sharp
Yeah.
when you give up that many offensive fouls. Use your hands in year 8 to set screens. You foul Jokic 90 feet away from the basket with 5 seconds on the clock. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to have to start asking if you've got all your marbles.
I bet that's not a stat out there, but maybe some in the comments. I really want to see the stats for like who leads the league in off-ball fouls. It got to be Jaren Jackson Jr. Because you look at the calls he's getting, it's not like he's guarding the guys. He just hacking them. No, these are, like you said, illegal screens, plays 90 feet from the basket. He positioning on rebounding. It's just simple stuff that an 8-year vet that you're paying so much money and you have all these expectations for. It's just you see the same repetitive things we were talking about year 3, year 4, year 5. I'm not, because people were talking about in the comments, I'm not far saying we should trade him because, again, I asked, like, what's the alternative? But these are the type of games you look back to is like, are we really have our investment in Jaren Jackson Jr. when our return on investment is not what we're giving? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've said 1,000 times. I talk about the Grizzlies daily.
Yeah.
Do this sometimes twice a day if I do post-game show. I've said 1,000 times. If Jaren Jackson Jr. fouled out every game contesting shots at the rim, I would never complain. I would never complain about foul trouble if you get them while blocking shots. But if he only fouled while blocking shots, he would average like 1.5 fouls a game. Like, he just doesn't foul while contesting. He's really good at it, actually. He fouls on the wrong end of the court or setting screens. It's maddening, and it just put in an era in an offense that thrives and so much on pace. They want to do pace. That's all you hear is pace. Want to go faster. He routinely shuts down the offensive rhythm by boneheaded fouls.
Yeah, because you need him in the game, and we've talked ad nauseum about Coach Easlow's robotic rotations. So when you throw a wrench in the substitution, that throws a wrench in the flow of the game. When times where we need guys in that can guard a Jokic or Anthony Davis or Embiid or all these other guys that come to town, and we just can't have our best on best, like you said, because our best player is on the bench and our other best player is in street clothes. I know this is not a job rent because he didn't play tonight, but I see it on him too, that our 2 cornerstones of this franchise just aren't available enough. One is in street codes more times than not, unfortunately, and the other is in playing the game, but he's in foul trouble. So those are things that it's just, as a Grizzlies fan, it's just extremely frustrating.
Yeah, and in 3 seasons now that have just been frustrating. It's just if you were to label each season, 2 years ago it was the suspension and then the injury of John. I was like, oh, it can't get any worse than talking about this team. And then last year it was the communist offense and John Morant struggles and drama. And I was like, I can't get any worse than this. And like, here we are this year. And the only thing different in the Taylor Jenkins offense, communist offense, and the T.I. offense is that both of your star players suck. So I just don't really know where to go from it. There's a lot of people that say trade Jaren. I'm at the point now to where it's like, okay, like, you can have your gripes. If you want to take it a step further than I'm willing to take it, one step further than me isn't crazy. And so I just don't know what you do. Like, what trade package looks good. Jaren, if we're being honest, there's probably 29 teams out there that if he were on the market would be like, that's a guy I want. He does everything well. There's just something missing. And honestly, it's the same thing with Ja that's missing. Like, there's just something about the fight. I hate seeing my 7-foot big man constantly getting ripped at the block by a guy swiping down at him, a younger guy, smaller guy. Swap down. It just doesn't sit well with me. There's no fight on anyone on this team other than Zach Edey and Ja when he's wearing a tracksuit.
Yeah, and I said this because I did my show right before tip off. I asked Jared this question. He couldn't have a proper answer. I said, why does it take our 7'4" second-year player to ignite the fire on this team? To be that we say he's not the leader, but he's kind of the de facto leader when the energy shifts when he's not in the lineup. When Jaren is year 8, Ja's year 7, like, I don't understand what's going on in between the ears. I'm labeled.
I believe fairly, given the other talent on this roster that is Bluff City Media, the Edey hater. I'm the Edey guy that I've just never been fully in, and most of it is because of the Rudy Gay. I mean, the not Rudy Gay, the Rudy
Rudy Gay is
Gobert of it all.
crazy.
No, the Rudy Gobert of it all.
Yeah.
Like you could be 7 foot whatever and a shot blocker and everything. I'm scared you're going to get played off the court in playoffs. That was my big thing with Edey.
Yeah.
Like it's a cornerstone guy that you're probably going to get played off the court in certain situations. What I did not fail to take into account was the mentality of it all. And I rue the fact that when I'm talking about attitude and effort on this team, I'm talking about Zach Edey and Cedric Howard. It should not be your rookie and your second-year guy that is leading the hype train, that's leading the grid, that's willing to get on the floor and to get dirty. But there's a tangible difference in the Memphis Grizzlies when those two guys are on the court. It just is, and it's time to accept it. And if there's one reason that Zach Edey and Cedric Howard need to be in the starting lineup and playing the most minutes, it's because that's when the Grizzlies care. That's when they play hard. It's when things work. I can't put a metric to it. It just works.
Yeah, it's the intangibles. Like when there's something about Said and Edey, they just make positive impacts on winning. It's not gonna show up in the box score, but how they slide their feet defensively, how they get positioning, how they rotate. It's just those things that you can teach, but you still have to have it or not. And it comes down to the thing we say that Jaren doesn't have at times is IQ. Said is a very extremely high IQ player. Edey is showing at times he can be a very high IQ player.
Right.
And this game was one of those games where it got elevated to like, wow, the difference is. I still, even though Said didn't have a good game, I think he kept Said on the bench a little bit too long in that fourth quarter. Like, KCP was playing well. He had that real good assist to Londale. I think he hit a shot. But I still wanted Said just to give a little more offensive punch, because as much as we talk about what the problem is with Ja, the problem this team still has when Ja isn't there, we don't know how to create offense in the fourth quarter without him there. So I think Said could have been that offense, but being that he got in with Jaren at that 2:30 mark, the game was already out of hand. Well, not out of hand, but it was already it was tough to make the comeback then, but not having that guy in the game most of the time didn't help it either.
Yeah, I'm at the point now, and I was high on Said when we traded up with the when we got the pick from the Magic, and I was thrilled when we traded up with the Blazers to get him. And especially if Ja's going to be out, I think with this calf strain, and you see that they just pushed Ty Jerome out. I know it was a higher grade with Ty Jerome, but it makes me really leery that in 2 weeks that when they reevaluate Ja, they're just going to kick it out again, because they're so scared of calf injuries turning into Achilles tears that you're going to be without Ja for a month. And if that's going to be the case, this team is going to feature the threesome of Zach Edey, Tripp, and Cedric Howard, and I'm cool with just Cedric Howard just getting any shot he wants. If I'm being honest, David Thorpe went rant and raved over Cedric Howard, and he said his best attribute was not how much he cared or his smarts, just his shot. He said his shot's the best thing that he's got in his bag. We haven't seen enough. I think there's real Kawhi Leonard stuff there when you talk about 100%. Getting to a mid-range and getting to the elbow and being unstoppable in that area of the court. I want to see that from Ced. Just put the ball in his hands and let him figure it out. You're going to take lumps, but I mean, what else are we working towards here? This team, as is, without Ja and with Jaren playing this way, is not a playoff team. It's just not. It's not good enough. It's not deep enough. And so I'm not saying wave the white flag, but I am saying there's worse outcomes than Cedric Howard getting really comfortable in the NBA.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see your argument. Like, what's the worst that can happen with Said being the focal point of your offense and really cementing him as the next cornerstone, being that he's already shown flashes of that. Like, he only had 6 shots tonight, which is unexcusable for a guy as good as Cedric Howard. Like, Jaren had 16, Wells had 13. Everybody's starting lineup besides Edey, he had the least amount of shots taken, which
and that's probably a rookie deferring and trying to fit in. But I want him empowered at this point. I want him to be told, like, hey, Any shot you got's a good shot. Fine. If you're comfortable, take it. Don't be shy. Don't try to get in where you fit in. Now it's your time to be a focal point in this offense. And we've made it too long in the show, 21 minutes, 21 minutes and some change, without mentioning Jalen Wells. It's quite possibly his best game of the season. Hitting shots on all three levels was really good tonight. I believe he was the only player to log lots of minutes and be a positive today. I think he ended as a positive. If not, it was
yeah. He was +7. Him and Santi was plus. Santi was +2. And, yeah, Jalen was
been
+7.
Really good all year.
Yeah, Santi had 12.6 assists on +2, and Jalen Woods had 22, 5 and 3, 8 for 13 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3 on +7. So yeah, those who definitely had the best games plus minus wise.
Yeah. So that's I don't really know. The Grizzlies, this was a one-off. Now they're going back on the road for 4 more.
Yeah.
Starting a 4-game road trip. November's been pretty brutal when it comes to being on the road. Lots of hotels in November.
Yeah, we got a rough stretch coming up. I'm trying to pull up the schedule right now. I know we got the Pelicans coming. That's a cup game against the Pelicans. We have the Clippers on the 28th, the Kings on the 30th, and then the Spurs on the 2nd. I was talking about this on my show. Hopefully, Edey isn't out for too long. Hopefully, it's just maybe it's a migraine because we saw the video and it didn't look that bad. Like a little, I won't say a little because I'm not playing against Nikola Jokic, but a blow to the head. So hopefully he's back. So Pelicans, Clippers, Kings, and Spurs. I still feel like all those games are winnable, but guys got to come to play, and it really comes down to Jaren Jackson Jr. because we think about it, the Spurs, I don't know, Wemby's probably not back at that point, but you got the Pelicans, you playing Zion. The Clippers, they don't have a solidified big. The Kings definitely don't. So these are the games where hopefully Jaren can get his act together and continue to change the rest of the season. I'm being very optimistic in saying that because I've seen 8 years of Jaren Jackson Jr. basketball, and that doesn't predicate one to another. But I still feel I'm not completely in your camp where we're completely not a playoff team. If we take care of business this next stretch of easier games. That's what I would say. I feel like we can still make the playoffs, but it still comes to guys making plays or not, which we're just not doing on a consistent basis right now.
Yeah. I'm with you. So anybody in the chat, we'll throw you a bone here. We love the chat here.
Yes, we do.
If you've got anything you want us to talk about, please throw us in. We'll take any questions, comments, concerns. We have lambasted Jaren Jackson Jr. probably worse than I've ever lambasted Jaren Jackson Jr. But we'll go further if that's where y'all want to go. I know that's what the comment says. Shoot, I even got there's even a comment in here that says, I don't know if you think this or not. I feel like it was a pretty hot take. Zach Randolph is better than Jaren Jackson Jr.
That's not hot at all.
It's the opposite. It's
that's the coldest.
Hot as ice cream.
Where's my water bottle at?
50 is in the rafters. So the limb that he was out on was basically the trunk of the tree.
Yeah, like Zach, you talking about arguably the greatest player in Grizzlies history to Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm sorry. I love Tripp. He's a good player, but 50 would give that man the blues every game and twice on Sunday.
Yeah. I don't care if he's a Spartan brother or not. He would be 7 rows in the bleachers.
Facts. One elbow to his chest. He flying the
Jaren
other.
Ain't seen hips like Zach Randolph before.
He gonna foul out in the first half if he played Zebo. He's fouling out first half. 100%.
No. What other from tonight? Nikola Jokic was awesome. Triple-double about half through the third quarter. Half court, just pull-up jump shot to end the third. He was an absolute smoke show. And just to make matters worse, I turned on the game. My wife and I were watching it, and she turned it on as I went in the bedroom, and it was about the time the Grizzlies had cut it to 6, and then it's about a minute to go, and then he pulls off that behind the back pass to the cutter for the layup, and I was just kind of like, I mean, I guess you just got to tip your cap.
Yeah, like that's what I was saying before. Like they've won a championship the past few years for a reason. Jokic on the night had 17, 10, and 6. That much impact. He only took 9 shots, 5 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 for 3. He's just that damn good. Like Murray, he had a great game. He had 29 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. He made 6 threes. Jeez, they were killing from 3 tonight. They hit 22 3-pointers, Drew. They
Yeah.
hit 22 half of
And
their buckets came from 3-pointers.
and Pete and Brad were talking about on the broadcast. They don't even like shooting three. They shoot 3-pointers at one of the lowest clips in the NBA, and they were just
Yeah.
like, "Hey, the Grizzlies going to leave me open," and that's what happened. And Grizz Nation over here, Jokic has never looked in shape, and so he does as a doughy boy, and you just got to appreciate it and love it.
Yeah, appreciate greatness because he's that damn good and he's clearly the best player in the NBA. But we both watched the game. I don't think all the shots were open. Like I feel like a lot of those shots were contested. Like Murray hit like 2 fadeaway threes, 2 feet behind the 3-point line. They were both like just cash. Like I feel like they were just on a heater tonight, man. Like 51%.
Yeah, but then you had I can't remember his name. Hit like 3 corner threes in a row.
Oh yeah, you talking about Watson?
Peyton Watson.
Yeah, he went 5 for 10 from 3. Yeah,
and I was like, okay, at some point somebody's going to get out to the corner and he went like a 9-0 run himself. It was ridiculous.
Okay, I can say that the guys that shouldn't have got off. Like Watson, he had 27 tonight. Like Cam Johnson had 18. You know, Tim Hardaway Jr. had a very quiet 13 points. Like I wrote an article about this like a few weeks ago, my last Beale Street Bears article, just about how bad we are against opposing teams' wings that shouldn't get off. You know, like against athletic 3, I said basically against 3 and D wings, we are not good. And I went on like a list of just the games and previous, and this is another thing to add to that. Like guys that should not be getting off, that don't show up high on the scouting report or end up being Grizz killers. Like there's no way that Peyton Watson is the second leading scorer for the Nuggets and we lose by 10. Like he put up almost 30. That's the type of stuff that comes down to coaching, I believe, as well.
Yeah, well, you know, it was one of the frustrating things. I talked about it with Golden State, the Golden State game that we lost, and with San Antonio. With Golden State, you hold Steph to, I think, 16, an inefficient 16, and you allow Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski to beat you.
Yeah.
And then you get San Antonio without Wemby, and Harrison Barnes goes nuclear. It's like, at some point, it's just inevitable that somebody's going to beat you, and that's got to be a little bit of coaching, and it's just, like, you got to stop one guy. Like, you got to stop this guy. And at least in the Golden State game, like, Curry was on the court. In San Antonio, there was no Wemby. It was just Harrison Barnes. Like, somebody just go out there and put a forearm shiver in his stomach as he's taking a jump shot. Like,
yeah, it's kind of funny to bring it back up to Jaren. That game, Jaren did get like a 9-0 run on his head in the fourth quarter by Harrison Barnes. And people on Twitter were arguing with me that I said Jaren got cooked and all that. Like, he just made a tough shot. But no, you're a decoy. You should guard that man. But yes, the reason I feel like it's coaching, because I feel like that's telling your guys, yes, we have to stop the main guy. We still have to be locked on everybody else. I feel like that's like overall coaching from the first man to the 15th man on the bench. Like, you can't just fixate on Jokic, even though he is the best player in the world, but let all these other guys get off, because that's just called overall team defense. If you cut the head of the snake, the body will fall, but you still gotta make sure that the body really dead. And we don't do that enough at all.
and the thing about Jokic is, I feel like you've got to be okay with letting him score.
Yeah,
because you can't let him make the whole team better. When you've seen postseason games in which Denver loses, a lot of times Jokic has got like 50, and those are dogfights. But if he's got 25, 20, and 15, it's like you're done. You are done. You've got to limit him in some aspect. And it was just, you got the full Jokic tonight.
Because these are the type of games where he just controls just every aspect of the game. And we look at the stat sheet, he stuffs the stat sheet because he plays the most minutes. He impacts the game on both ends of the floor. Because he's not a cone defensively either. It's hard to guard a guy that controls the game so well. Like, it reminds me of how LeBron used to control the game in his prime. Of course, I'm not saying they play the same and all that, but just how LeBron had his fingertips on everything is like that. So you got to limit him while also trying to get the other guys. They're a hard team to beat. Still a winnable game, but it's a hard team to beat when you got guys playing like that.
Yeah, too many guys running open too. So
that too.
It's frustrating. The Grizzlies, I believe, that will make them 6-12 on the season. Start a 4-game road trip here, starting with a road trip to New Orleans. In the comments, we'll throw the comment up here. Can't they win the cup game on Wednesday? Listen, the Grizzlies have won 2 cup games.
Yes, they have.
Every of all time, and that was the one Pelicans game last year, and then the Mavericks this year. So yes, if you need a get right game, the Grizzlies have shown they can beat worse teams. Beat Sacramento by 41. They're undefeated against Dallas and New Orleans on the season. That's the worst teams they've played. I think they can and should win the cup game against New Orleans this week. There is no Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, I think, in that game. So,
yeah, against teams under 500, we're very good. It's just the teams over 500 we just can't beat. So we're playing a few teams coming up under 500. So hopefully we can, like you said, get that get right game. Hopefully.
Yeah. So, we'll do one last shout out comments if anybody's got anything they want to do. Lots of listen, Grizz Nation. He is a loyal listener and commenter to this thing. I rarely agree with anything he says, and he is on, of all people, a Keon Ellis heater right now. I don't know if you've got any thoughts on Keon Ellis, but
He's a player for the Kings, right? He plays for the Kings, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes, he does play for the Kings. I liked him in spot minutes and stuff. You know, it's so bad, and it's the thing that I hate the most about this team is I covet players that play hard on other teams. That is what I hate the most. I hate the fact that I can't come here on a post game show and say, you know, I think they gave it their best. You know who I can say that about every time?
Who?
Cam Spencer.
Yes, he can.
Said Zach Edey.
The guys that closed the game. The guys that pretty much closed the game. Like those 5. Again, normally I hate that lineup because it's not enough athleticism, not enough scoring. But them dudes hoops, bro. Like they played their heart out. Like when the game, because I tweeted when Cam Johnson hit that 4-point play to cut the lead to 17, well, to expand the lead to 17 with about 6.5. I said, yeah, that's probably wraps. Because I thought we were just gonna let the wheels fall off after that. But those 5, Cam, Santi, KCP, Jalen Wills, and Lundell, they played their heart out. We need that energy to be infectious. Oh my, I can't say infectious. That's how you say the word. Infectious. I'm tired. This is my second.
Just take a breath.
This is my second show of the day. Infectious throughout the whole team. But those guys played hard. I just wish we had 1 through 15 playing like that all the time.
Again, it's really hard for me to go and criticize the Grizzlies and criticize T.I., criticize the front office even.
Yeah.
When you rarely, if ever, have your star playing.
Facts.
And I died on the hill last season defending Taylor Jenkins until it became indefensible. I was the last one to say he probably just needs to get fired.
Yeah.
And that was primarily, if not exclusively, because Ja Morant did not play basketball, and players win games. Now, what I've made the line of demarcation this year, and I've been much more critical of T.I. so far because, unlike Taylor Jenkins, Jaren Jackson Jr. is not playing well either. And like the offense features nobody instead of just Jaren and Santi. It features absolutely nobody. But still, I think at its core, this is a players' league. And players win games, players lose games. And if Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. can play ball and give 80% of their peak, 75 to 80% of their peak on a night-to-night basis, this team should be in the playoffs. We're not getting that. And now Ja's out, and he's probably going to be slower. A common thread, and this is how we'll end the show because this is looking forward. We talked enough about the Pelicans. I think we should win that game in New Orleans. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Going forward, there's kind of a rumor, a sentiment. Kenny floated it out on the 2 Buck Sports Show with me today about are we seeing the first signs of a tank coming in? You know, and the first clue might have been, if you want to look at reasons that or examples as to the Grizz starting a tank, was Ty Jerome being kicked out 6 to 9 more weeks. Do you feel like that is a thought that has crossed the mind of Zach Kleiman and the front office and staff?
Has it been a thought? Yes, I believe that because, like you said, the Ty Jerome news. The reason why I can't fully commit to that yet it's because this is Zach Kleiman's contract year, and I really think he wants to put a good product on the floor into his last year. Because yes, we can question Robert Perry all day and his involvement with the team, but I believe Kleiman wants to put a good product on the floor, and I don't feel like tanking is going with that agenda unless he is guaranteed we're getting 2 top 10 or top 5 draft picks. And there's no guarantee with that with the lottery. So I can see what y'all are saying. I'm just not there yet.
And I'm not ready to start saying this is proof that we are yet either, especially not with Ty Jerome and the string of Achilles tears that we saw directly resulting from calf strains. So I'm not ready to do that yet either. I will say that Phoenix being good and that pick not being good makes me pause a little. And I don't think there was any chance at all that this team would tank if Phoenix sucked. And we all thought Phoenix would suck. Turns out they're not. They're not going to suck, I don't think. If Devin Booker plays 82, which he's been known to do, I don't think this team's going to suck.
Yeah. So if they don't suck, either we be competitive or we try to be sucked too. And it's still early in the season, but hopefully I think we have a better answer to that probably after the new year, going towards the All-Star break. I feel like if we're not close to a 500 team, that's when you can see guys like come up with magical injuries, come out of nowhere and all that. I hope we don't get to that because I love to see a competitive Grizzlies basketball team. I just think we need to change things fast so that doesn't happen,
Well, and every year we do oftentimes a 2-hour-long, 3-hour-long trade deadline show in which the Grizzlies are rumored to make the big move. And the next day we always hear about how we were in the running for big name X or big name Y, and we come up short. I got to think that they're going to make another run at it this year. And I don't know if they'll do it or not, but I don't see us actually punting. And if you do actually punt, then shame on you. I hate it. I'm a fan. There's too much on the line right now for the Memphis Grizzlies to tank, to purposefully lose. People spend their money, their discretionary income on tickets and food and parking and FanDuel Sports Network and whatever NBA League Pass, whatever they use to consume the Grizzlies. They spend too much money for you to go out there and purposefully lose. I will never agree with it. I will never support it. I don't care how bleak the outlook is. If that crosses the mind of Zach Kleiman and becomes there's actually actions that seem to lead up to them purposefully losing, then I will have lost respect for the organization, and everybody needs to go.
I co-sign that. We're Grizzlies fans till we die, but we want to see a competitive team, and losing on purpose is not the way to go. So I agree with that.
All right. Let's see.
I do want.
Go ahead.
King Meeks, bring the comment about King Meeks. He keep asking how I'm doing in school. I think we should address our guy.
Yeah, I started that just for this. So King Meeks is dying to know. Evan, you're a college kid. Where are you in college at?
I'm at well. This is my undergraduate, so I'm not repping my school right now. But I go to Alabama A&M University in Huntsville, Alabama, about 3.5 hours away from Memphis. Obviously, I am in my master's program. I am a semester away from graduating. This is my second to last semester from getting my master's in communications because this is what I do, communicate.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a student athlete, track and field. Also commentator / media member for the school too. So school is fine. I have a great GPA, 3.8 or something right now. So I'm cool, man.
Nerd.
Something like that. I call myself a geek because I play sports. So I'm a smart nerd. I'm a cool nerd because I like anime and superheroes, but I also play sports. So yeah.
Oh, I mean, you're checking all the boxes. I mean, there's not anybody that can't get down with something that you do. If you're going to do anime and sports and communicate, you're going to have lots of friends.
I try to, man. My girlfriend thinks I'm cool, so I think I'm doing
that's
okay.
All that matters. That's all that matters.
But yes,
have you been to the space station?
I need to. That's my thing. It's just I have a lot of things on my plate, but yes, that is one thing I have to do before I Get out of here. I've heard it's pretty cool.
Alabama A&M. That's the Yellow Jackets.
No, everyone does that. That's Alabama State. That's our
Okay.
biggest rival. Yeah, A-State is our
Oh.
rival. We're the Bulldogs. I have
well.
nothing. I have nothing like hands.
I've never cheered for a Bulldog ever. So sorry.
Wow.
I guess I'll cheer for.
Yes, Alabama A&M Bulldogs. That is us right here. So yeah, schools. I'm tired of school though. If there any more people, you have kids, Drew? Do you have kids?
Do I have kids? I got a fifth one on the way, brother.
Okay, so if your kids, when they're there, I don't plan to go in. Oh, what's up, bro? A&M's a pretty good school, bro. Like I've only been here for a year, some change, but it sounds pretty cool. But for all the people with kids, don't be like Evan. Evan graduated from undergrad. Appreciate that, King Mix. Super early. I graduated undergrad in 2.5 years. I went straight into a master's program. I am tired and try to be a student athlete. Tell your kids, don't be like, if you want to graduate early, fine. But don't go straight into a master's program. They're going to be tired. Don't do that.
What I would say is if you're going to a college and university, it's not necessarily about finishing as quick as possible. You do have to live a little.
Yes.
Don't do what I did because, Evan, what I did was the exact opposite of what you did. I did 2.5 years at community college, took 1.5 years off, then did 4 more semesters at community college before going to Mississippi State and doing what totaled up to be about 3 years because I alternated between work and school through college. And so I graduated college at 28 years old. And so you're going to be blitzing, you're going to have a master's degree, and you're going to be in college for like 4 years. I will have done roughly 6.5 to 7 years and have a bachelor's.
So, okay, kids, try to be in the middle of me and Drew.
Yeah.
So either like work like crazy like Drew and do all that, or work in school and all that. And I'm tired of school. I'm ready to be done. So just find us in the middle. So tell your kids if one of them is smart, a few of them is smart, graduate fine, but don't go straight into the masters. Just
I've got so many kids. I've got 4 kids right now. 5th one on the way. 2 of them are older. 3 of them will be younger. And I've told them, I said, all right, here's the deal. One of you is going to college. The other one's getting a car. Okay, y'all figure it out amongst
y'all
yourselves.
gotta choose.
Yeah, one of y'all's going to college. The other one's getting a car. And the one that getting the car is going to trade school. So you want to go be a plumber? You want to go be a plumber, be a welder? You're going to make more money than me one way or the other. So you can do that. The other one can go to college.
That's smart. That's smart. And congratulations with your kid on the way.
Appreciate it.
King Grizzlies, that's not a professional degree. Let me get on him real quick. Let's talk about my degree.
Defend yourself.
Put the comments so people can see his. Yeah.
Gotcha.
King Grizzly _3.
That's your worst take of the day, and you've had plenty of bad ones.
Being that you're watching me right now with my communication degree, I believe I'm going to be fine. Being I will be 22-year-olds with a master's, and I highly doubt you are at the same level of me, humbly. So I believe I'm going to be just fine. You're going to be watching me on this, and hopefully, God willing, ESPN, Fox on TV one day, or your local news channel. So when you're watching me and you're telling your kids that you know me, I'm going to say I didn't have a professional degree. So.
I don't know you. I don't remember you.
Exactly. I don't remember. Guy in the comments watching me, but for sure.
Everybody's got to find a way to feed their family one day.
Facts.
Ain't no shame for me. You can do whatever you want.
As long as you get your bread. Get your bread, man.
As long as you can take care of your wife and kids, you can do whatever you want.
Facts.
Sell feet pics, You're a track guy. It probably wouldn't work good for you, but
my feet are cooked. My feet are. You're
a track guy, so I imagine.
Sprinter too. Sprinter. Yeah. No one wants to see Evan's feet.
You're wearing closed-toed at all times.
All socks, all time, no matter what. If I'm going to the pool, I'm in and out.
You got them swim shoes on.
Facts.
Listen, when the Grizzlies lose, the post-game bounce tends to go off the rails, as also when it does anytime I'm on the show. I don't know what it is. We spin out of control. We have a good time. So, anyways, hey, you may just need to hang out with Heaven's Healthy Kitchen here. Former sponsor of this post-game show in years past. So, hang out. We'll go meet up with Heaven's Healthy Kitchen there. She lives right around the corner from you.
You probably about 10. if he or she, I live in the Dean apartment, so you probably know where that is. I'm like 10 minutes away, so let's link up. Link up.
Oh, they're cooking now. They're cooking now. So
hey man, eat some food, bro.
right.
I'm hungry. Broke college student.
That's it. That's it. So you go get you some Wendy's. You can get 5 for $5 over at Wendy's, I think, still.
Facts.
Everybody else, have a good night. Thank you for commiserating with me and Evan. Evan, thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
Check out all the shows on Bluff City Media. You've got the Daily Grind at 7:30 in the morning, tomorrow morning, and every morning. You've got the $2 Sports Show featuring me and Rusty. Will be back with me tomorrow, Tuesdays, all weekdays at 11 o'clock, and then Anthony Sane at 1 o'clock right here on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. Come check us out, hang out in the comments, and we will be back with you later.
Go Grizz.
Go Grizz.